Well, here we go again, the CBC with the violin. It was in the morning news. I gotta stop listening to the morning show. I mean, it's starting to get on my nerves because I see it every day. So, CBC had a show about mental illness, and they want like an ombudsman to be in charge of mental illness. So the legislator, I guess 4 years ago, they passed the First Amendment that the government would appoint somebody to look into health issues, mental health issues, all right? So both parties stood up and applauded 4 years ago. This is before so-called Dr. Sarah Davidson and the bunch arrived. And that really pissed off the government. Now, what am I talking about? Of course, I don't know what I'm talking about. I never do. But listen to this. Just listen to this. Oops, wrong one. See, speaking of mental illness. Come on.
It's only getting worse, mental illness. You know, you have like addiction, you have homelessness, and you have mental illness. And the problem is just getting much worse, and we urgently need that position to be appointed, the position of an official advocate in the province for the mentally ill.
CBC News has requested an interview on this subject with Health Minister Bruce Fitch. The minister has refused our requests. Doctors living and working in Atlantic Canada will soon be able to work within the region without additional
So anyway, so you turn around. I'm not doing this all over again. We know how much I love to redo the story all over again. It's an ADHD thing, but we need a person for in charge of mental health. So, of course, okay, come on. Everybody agreed. There was no problem. But now you have people like Sarah Davidson, so-called doctor, show up in front of council and says we need housing for people on the street. High on crystal meth. Insisted. High on crystal meth. And we're going to house them. And then we will try to help them. So put them in the neighborhood high on crystal meth. Let them destroy everything and little kids' needles and everything, and we'll try to help them. Or, well, I'm going to buy the abortion clinic, and I'm going to put a housing, rooming house for meth heads. Not recovery, meth heads, beside the school, St. George Street School. And the principal said, you can't have that beside kids. And next thing you know, she said, well, I'll listen to them, to her concern, but the rooming house is still going there. So it's attitude, right? So the only reason that the two parties agreed with this is because of mental health, all right? So some genius after that added crystal meth as a mental illness. That's why the police can't do nothing. And next thing you know, somebody is going to be severely hurt, beat up. Could be me, who knows? But you can't live in fear, right? I almost had a fist fight this morning. But when it happens, then the prosecutor will say, bravo, bravo, order that person released immediately. So then there's going to be chaos right on the street because they could get away with everything because it's a mental illness. So now they're whining and crying to have an advocate for the medheads. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. The government does some stupid thing. What you going to do? Just make sure that they're not responsible for their action. They can shit and piss all over the place. That garbage, I tell you, go beyond the giant tiger. I was there yesterday. It's starting. There's still snow. There's a pallet. Trash all over the place. Smite Street, right in front of Exhibition Ground on the sidewalk. Big garbage bag all ripped. That's what they do. And one thing about being a medhead, You do not follow rules. So, if the advocate says, well, there's rules. This is rules as a procedure you have to follow. Oh, we don't follow rules. So, what do? So, really, the only thing I see for metheads, the only thing, is once they break the law, put them in jail with a strong rehab center in the middle, a strong one, not just NA meetings, a strong one. And 16, 17 years old, out of control, in the mental ward, resti gauche, and will be released until a panel of doctors or psychiatrists see them fit. Because in a year from now, especially the females, they'll look about 65 years old. And it's a life, there's no winners, there's no going back. And I'll add one more thing. I seen a pastor last week, and I asked him, you've been here for 20 years. You've seen many AA people, alcoholics, join AA, they seen God, and they went out the right track? Yep, hundreds, maybe thousands. People in domestic disputes? Yes, all kinds. Have you already cured a medhead? That a medhead said, I got a problem, I want help. He looked at me, he says, nope, not one. So, advocate? I don't think so.